It was somewhere between 2 and 3 in the morning. I woke up, and I couldn't move. Not a finger, not a toe, nothing. And then, I saw it, standing over me, close enough to touch. A dark silhouette, 2 horns, and eyes, glowing, vivid, locked onto mine like I was the only thing in the room. Like I was prey. This is my sleep paralysis story. And I promise you, it didn't end when I could finally move. A few years back, I was living with my grandparents. Old house, big main room right outside my bedroom door. The kind of place that feels warm during the day and completely different at night. I was young, curious, and just days before this happened, I had been reading about sleep paralysis. You know how it is, you fall into a rabbit hole online, learn something wild, and never think it'll actually happen to you. It was way past midnight. I had fallen asleep normally, and then I woke up. Except, I couldn't move. At all. Not my hands. Not my legs. I couldn't even turn my head. My body was completely frozen. But my mind was wide awake. Now here's the thing. Because I had just learned about sleep paralysis, I didn't completely panic. I told myself, this is it. This is what they were describing. Stay calm. You're breathing. You're okay. And I was breathing fine. I could feel my chest rising and falling. My eyes, though, I could tell they were wide open. That adrenaline wide, pupils blown out kind of open. Like your body is screaming even when you can't. Then, slowly, something started to take shape. At first it was just a shadow. A darkness that felt different from the rest of the room. More present. More intentional. And then details started forming, like something being drawn by an invisible hand in real time. A silhouette. Dark gray, almost black. Tall, but curved, hunched forward. And on its head, 2 horns. And then the eyes. I don't remember the exact color even now. I've gone back and forth on it for years. It was either a bright shimmering yellow, or a deep shiny green, or maybe red. But whatever color it was vivid. Saturated in a way that felt impossible in that dark room. Like 2 small lights turned on just for me. It was standing within arm's reach of my face. Just staring. Not moving. Not making a sound. Just watching me the way a predator watches. Something it's already decided is going nowhere. I told myself to stay calm. I knew what sleep paralysis was. I knew the brain does this. Creates hallucinations. Generates a sense of presence. Manufactures dread. I knew all of that. But knowing doesn't stop your heart from hammering. After what felt like an eternity. And I genuinely cannot tell you. If it was 2 minutes. Or 20, the paralysis broke. My body was mine again. I didn't scream. I didn't run. I stayed still under my blanket for a moment. Then I said a quiet prayer. I pulled the blanket tighter. And eventually, I convinced myself. I needed to change my shirt. I had been sweating through the whole thing. Here's where I made the mistake. I didn't turn the lights on. I don't know why. To this day, I can't explain it. Maybe part of me thought if I turned the light on and nothing was there, it would confirm I had just been scared. Maybe I didn't want to disturb whatever energy was in that room. Whatever the reason, I walked to my wardrobe in the dark. I got there, opened it, started looking for a shirt, and then I felt it. That same heaviness. I turned my head slowly to the left. It was there again, crouched down this time. Almost like it had adjusted its position specifically so its face was level with mine. So it could look me directly in the profile. Close. So close. Just watching. Still not moving. Still not making a sound. I stood completely frozen, not from paralysis this time, but from pure, raw fear. And then I finally did what I should have done from the start. I turned on the light. The room looked normal. Of course it did, but I wasn't fully convinced. I turned the light off, looked into the dark. The energy in the room still felt thick, wrong, like the air had weight to it. And in the shadows, in that particular corner, I could still almost sense a shape. I turned the light back on, left it on. I didn't tell anyone that night. The next morning, I pulled my sister aside and told her everything, and made her promise not to tell a soul. She kept that promise. It wasn't until years later, a lot of years, that I finally told my mother. And for a long time after that night, I couldn't sleep with the lights off. Not in that room. Not in any room. Something had shifted in how I understood darkness. And I couldn't just switch it back. Here's where I'll be honest with you. I'm not going to tell you it was definitely a demon. I'm also not going to tell you it was definitely just my brain. Sleep paralysis is a documented neurological experience. When you're in that half-awake, half-asleep state, your brain can generate hallucinations, shadow figures, presences, creatures. It's sometimes called the intruder hallucination. Cultures around the world have different names for what people see. The old hag, the mare, the shadow man. Across centuries and continents, people describe something remarkably similar to what I saw. Science says that's because our brains are wired the same way. But science also doesn't fully explain why I saw it. Again, after the paralysis was over, after I was standing on my feet, fully awake, in a dark room I chose not to illuminate. I've thought about it for years. I don't have a clean answer for you. What I have is the memory, still clear, still vivid, of those eyes, whatever color they were. If you've ever experienced sleep paralysis, or if you've seen something you still can't explain, drop it in the comments. I want to hear your story, every single one of them. And if this video hit different for you, share it with someone who loves a good late night story. Subscribe if you're new. I've got more of these. And hey, maybe keep a light on tonight.